Try to eloquently explain.
One of the things that they propose is black folk not have to pay taxes for a certain amount of time, because then again, that puts money back in your pocket. But at the same time, it may not be as objectionable to some people about actually giving out dollars. But obviously then you start dealing with the different tax brackets and things like that. And that's one of the reasons that, you know, we argue the reparations make sense, because so many black folk, not only do you owe for the labor that was stolen and killed and all the other things, right? If you do the no tax thing, for people that are already, say, struggling and aren't really paying taxes in the first place, it doesn't really, exactly.
You know, Jasmine Crockett may have an even lower IQ than AOC. It's a tough call. You listen to her and she makes it seem like every African American wants reparations, hates Trump. But what's interesting is today in Atlanta, the African American community seemed to love Trump.
Well, we took care of those colleges.
Sure did. Much better than Biden did. So I want to know. This is Clark Atlanta. This is Stoneman. This is Morehouse. This is Morris Brown. They all came.
Isn't that great?
So I don't care what the media tells you, Mr. Trump. We support you.
We love you.
Okay, 4 p.m. We've been 4 p.m.
Come here,
for a while.
let me give you a hug.
Please
Does this look like a woman who hates Trump? Join me now to assess all this liberal stupidity. Host of the Quisha King Show, Quisha King. Where do you stand on it, Quisha? Again, so there's two arguments within her one statement. One statement's demanding reparations, standalone, and the other one is, wait, hold on, wait a minute. The community's not paying taxes. A lot of people aren't. She says struggling, but they're not being successful enough to pay taxes. I think that part is really insulting. But again, I'm looking from the outside, and you tell me.
Well, you know, you don't have to be a black person to see this, that it is nonsense. And I've said for a long time that black Americans are the most successful black people in the entire world. Someone should remind this Congresswoman of that, because either way you spin it, that black people aren't paying enough taxes or that we need the reparations, the fact of the matter is this country that we are blessed to call our home has afforded us the ability to go out and make whatever we want of ourselves. And instead of promoting that fact, that this is the best place for you to go out and create something and do something and be something, they being the Democrats, want to resort to telling black people, oh, I'm so sorry, you can't do anything, you know, woe is you, and just go and look for another handout. Look for one more thing that will put you on the bottom, because this is a matter of principles. The Bible says if a man does not work, he does not eat. You have to sow in order to reap. There are so many principles that are ingrained into our nation's fabric that you have to go out and work for things, and that just giving you something is not the way to build up your character. It's not the way to build up your confidence. It is not the way to raise your family. No strong man is going to be looking to do anything like that. And so it's just a bad way of thinking all the way around. So
let me stay with you, Quisha, for a second, and control roll a little of that video, not as a soundbite, but as video, VO we call it, of the lady hugging Trump. And we don't see enough of that. The left will tell you African Americans hate Trump. They see him as a bigot, a racist, and whatnot. But he's still getting 26% of the African American vote because of people like that. Maybe people like you. I'm not sure where you stand politically, but certainly the media will portray it differently than it is. So let's start with you, Quisha.
You know, I worked on the Trump campaign in 2020, and I was outdoor knocking, and I saw this woman. She was on her porch with her 3 little kids, and I said, well, let me give it a shot. Let me see who she's going to vote for. I walk up to her and I make my appeal for President Trump, and she interrupts me and says, oh, I voted for him in 2016 and I'm voting for him again. This was a young black woman with 3 little kids who knew what was up even before I did, if I must be honest. So there are many black Americans who understand what Trump is they remember their life under President John Trump, and they will vote for him.
Let me bring Vince in. Vince, I've known Trump a long time. I know Trump when 30 years ago when he was in New York. There has never been one instance where that man had one racist bone in his body. He's never done anything. He does not have that, but they want to paint him as this bigot. I mean, there's literally no history of it. Vince, help us out here.
Look, that's all they have. Look, Abraham Lincoln said, you can fool some of the people some of the time, but you can't fool all the people all the time. The truth is coming out. If there are any racists here in America, it's the Democratic Party. If there's systemic racism, well, the Democrats control all the systems in the black community. They're the ones of the party of slavery from 1800 to 1860, the party of the Confederacy from 1860 to 1865, the party of Jim Crow. And now they're the party of transgenderism, this crime, these snatching grabs, weighing illegals over fentanyl, taking your guns away, not letting you pray to your God. The Democrat Party is a racist party. Always have been, always will be. They have led the black community to the bottom of every socioeconomic statistic in America, and until we get from up under them, we're going to stay there. Donald J. Trump is going to be the next president.
We're going to leave it right there. Vince, Everett Ellison, and Quisha King, thank you both so much for joining us. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.